Libra, hi. This will be a reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you enjoy it, if it resonates, feel free to like and subscribe. There will be an extended version available on my Patreon, which is the first link in the description below. Let's see what's going on with you, Libra. I feel like your awareness of something maybe not going right is actually inspiring you, which is good because, you know, these kinds of things can often discourage us. I mean, and it does seem like you're feeling a little bit unfulfilled or sort of like you don't know what to do with yourself in some ways, but you're choosing to stay determined or focused in your direction, very in control of your direction. You could also have some like developments in your relationships that seem very good because behind you, you have the Hierophant, the Ten of Cups, and ahead of you have the Lovers and the King of Cups. So, you know, you might have been crossed with some kind of stumble in your relationships even, but it would seem to resolve itself if that is the case. Yeah, you're making a judgment call to go forward. And I kind of get the impression of people like taking a chance on you. Yeah. You know, you might see some growth in opportunities or things you've been working towards in some way. And I could take that socially or professionally. In a lot of ways, I do think it's professional. Again, I do get a note of a relationship kind of scenario here, but it more so seems geared towards either your professional life or your creative life or just something you've been sort of aspiring towards. And you know, it's been a hard time getting your like feet on the ground, so to speak, but it looks like you maybe got this notion of that happening, or you've started to see some like results with what you've been working towards. You might even have some opportunities for collaboration come in. It's something that kind of gets you unstuck. love this. You know, you could say like you even received a level of maybe criticism, or if not criticism, just some kind of discouragement here. And you know, you're sort of just blasting past that. You're keeping your vision in mind, right? You're not really letting others turn you away from what you feel is right for you. You're also staying, you know, you're avoiding confusion. You're aware of your options, you're aware of what you're doing, and you're sticking to it. And, you know, I feel like this sort of movement forward has helped you lose fear. Your advice is definitely to lose fear. You might have people watching you, or there's some sort of like unknown aspect to it. You know, and people will often criticize things they don't understand, particularly if they're set in like old ways of thinking, things like that. But you know, you're having faith in your manifestations, even if it's like sort of an unconventional way of doing things, or if it's just something that people don't really understand. And you know, that will bring you to, I think, new passions. And you know, you might suddenly elevate in your status even. Or if it's a relationship, something could become very like serious or meaningful. But I'm not really seeing this reading that way necessarily, but you know, that could definitely apply. And it's almost like you leave certain people or you know, speculators basically in regret. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's very much like feels like, you know, like, well, I told you so, you know. Didn't mean to tell you, don't mean to say I told you so, but I told you so, you know. As far as what you can expect, you might receive, and you know, this feels like it's more in a personal context. Like you might receive some communications or clarities that disrupt things for you a little bit, or maybe even put you on guard. But you know, in a lot of ways, again, because there was that mention of an unstable foundation or a mishap somewhere or whatever. Maybe there's something that comes through that causes a little burden. There might be like the end of certain relationships or the end of certain, you know, it feels very much like poetic justice. Sort of that notion of being put down, but, you know, that good old-fashioned underdog story of the person that everyone doubted sort of rising to their potential. And you know, I very much think you do, because you have the Ace of Wands and the Sun in the outcome, and this is ahead of you, mind you. So whatever it is that you're working at, or you know, moving towards, especially if you're being discouraged from it, keep going, because I think that you're about to prove not only yourself, well, I don't know if you ever doubted it, but if you did, you're going to prove yourself wrong, and you might prove others wrong too, and in a very sort of successful and meaningful way. Let's pull a few oracle cards real quick. Insight opens third eye to strengthen intuition. Ask the elements for grounding, stability, and strength in times of chaos. Listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. The elements of fire, air, earth, and water combined create a powerful protective boundary, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So, you know, that card often reminds me of like, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with magic, but like say like the Lesser Banishing Ritual, the pentagram, or just like a magical like protection circle, you know, and you know, working with elemental energies. But the outcome of this is achievement, win the award, accolade, or contract. So, you know, there's no shortage of obstacles, but it certainly does end with wishes come true, rapid achievement of dreams and wishes. And I do kind of get the impression that you've been protected through this whole process. And, you know, it's not for nothing. And I think that you can feel that it's not for nothing. So congratulations on that. I'm going to look a little bit deeper on my Patreon. So please do join me there if you're interested in going a little bit further in this reading. And definitely feel free to like and subscribe if it resonated, if it helped you in some way. And I will see you next time, Libra. Thank you for joining. All right. Patreon.